Hi guys, it's Connor, and today I will be reacting to Dance Bombs. So on YouTube, the kind of content that I really like is when people do like a series of things and like they have a playlist of the videos that are similar to each other, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is going to be my like TV show reactions playlist, and like hopefully you enjoy it. So, Dance Moms is probably going to be different than the other shows I talk about that I'm planning on talking about because like these are legit real people other than like people playing characters. So it's a little bit hard to judge them cuz like one they might see this video if it blows up. Two, cuz like a lot of them have YouTube channels so they might possibly see it. And two, like I literally don't know them personally, so it's really difficult to like see how they come across on TV where the editors like edit it to make people seem a certain way. So my opinion really doesn't matter. And like you if you watch the show, you're entitled to your own opinion on the characters and you might have like a different view of them. So like yeah. So Dance Moms. I've been watching this and been wanting to make this video since the summer, and I finally finished it yesterday. So now, this is my reaction to it. So, a reason that I was like, first, like really connected to Dance Moms, there should literally be a counter of how many times I say like in this video. Yeah, so why I was connected to Dance Moms is because I danced for 10 years, and this show really made me miss dancing, and why I look rough is because I literally 2 seconds ago got out of the shower. So that explains the hair, that explains the red face. I got out of the shower. Moving on. So, I danced for 10 years, and I stopped 2 years ago because I was getting too busy. But like this show really, 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 truly made me miss dancing, and I kind of want to go back. Yeah, but I literally don't have time for it. But sometimes I would go to bed and like think like, wow, I really miss dancing because of Dance Moms. But like I don't know why I missed it from Dance Moms because this show has such a toxic environment. So like why would I want to go thinking about a toxic environment? Talking about toxic, let's start with the first character, Abby Lee Miller. Not a character, real human. Abby. So, Abby is totally the person that I wouldn't like in real life because they have favorites. And, like, the directors or, like, teachers that have favorites are definitely not my favorite. Because I'm usually not the favorite. So, yeah. She has the power to, like, literally make the years that you're on the show, like, horrible if she just doesn't like you. Like, she tends to like the people who have good feet, like, don't sickle their foot, or people where their moms literally, like, suck up to her and, like, do her work. Cough, cough, Melissa. Yeah. So, I don't like Abby, but she definitely had some really funny moments on the show and some iconic moments on the show. Usually when she was getting mad, I think I definitely say dingbat a lot because of her in real life. Like, I call people dingbat. Stop that, dingbat! Yeah, like that. You did not need a demonstration of that. But, yeah, Abby, very low on my Dance Moms character tier. So Gianna is like her helper, like her assistant choreographer. She usually choreographs the stuff. And she definitely seems much nicer than Abby. I would be less afraid of Gianna than Abby if I was there. Because she really seemed like a nice person and she really cared about the kids. So did Abby. She only cared about her favorites though, so. Talking about favorites, moving on. For Gianna, later in the show, I really felt bad for her. Like in season 7, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen season 7 or if you're planning on it, like, stop the video now. Yeah. So, when the moms decided that, like, when Abby, like, left in season 7, and they didn't want Gianna as their, like, main choreographer, and I think it was Christy was like, we have nobody to go to now. When Gianna was literally standing there and she got sad and she left the room, like, I honestly felt bad for her. Because she's been there with the kids since season 1, so, like, why would they not trust her to choreograph the stuff? She's done it before and she's choreographed winning numbers. So, I'm probably not going to talk about the dances themselves on this video, because when I'm watching the show, I'm, like, doing homework or other stuff, so I'm not really looking at the screen, I'm just hearing the moms fight because it's entertaining. And yeah, so I probably missed a lot of the dances, like, looking at it, so I don't really know their technique or, like, who I like the best. I do know who I like the best. I have a couple favorites. But yeah. So, starting off with Melissa, Maddie, and Mackenzie. So, Melissa, don't really like her. She really just, like, ignored everything that was going against her. Like, she never stood up for herself. She never stood up for her daughters. Well, I mean, she did sometimes, but, like... And, like, everyone literally talked about Maddie Ziegler behind her back. Like, all the moms, like, they just needed to stop. Like, worry about your own kid. Like, stop talking about Maddie all the time. And Melissa did nothing to solve that. Like, she just stood there and, like, listened to them talk about her daughter. Who does that? And, like, she didn't stand up for Mackenzie when she should have stood up for Mackenzie, like, when Abby was, like, bullying her. And I don't know. I really think Max Z, the singer, Mackenzie, she's pretty iconic, you know? Had some iconic moments. And everyone thinks Maddie is the main character of the show, or, like, Abby, but really in season 1, I think the main character was Christy and Chloe, because, like, Maddie really didn't have that much talking on the show. She really just seemed to, like, stand back and, like, just dance. So, yeah. I don't know why she's the one that got famous just because Abby said that she's her favorite, when she really didn't, like, have a personality, it seemed, on the show. Literally, I don't know them in real life, so I don't know. But, like, on the show, it didn't seem like she had much of a personality. That's mean. Yeah. So next, Christy and Chloe, they're definitely in my top 3 favorites on the show. Love them. Christy is an icon. She always stood up for her daughter. She always stood up for other people's daughters. And, like, love her. Love her. But, like, she always complained that she's not getting, like, a fair... Like, she just gave up before her daughter even danced. And, like, expected to lose, because that's how she's been scheduled to think, because, like, Abby puts it in her brain that she's going to lose. So, like, she just talks about losing all the time and how, like, it's not fair. So that's my only problem with Christy. Christy and Kelly were, like, my favorite friendship on the show. They're iconic. And Chloe, I just really felt bad for her. Like, oh my gosh, like, I was so, like, heartbroken whenever she cried. She cried, like, 3 times on the show. 4. And I was like, every single time. Because I love her and she did not deserve any of the things she went through on this show. Moving on to Holly and Nia. Dr. Holly and Nia. So, Holly, she was okay. She is the original mom that survived all the way to season 7. She's the only one that got through 7 seasons. Love that for her. But a lot of the things she said was, like, repetitive. It was like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but on the other hand, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's the only sentence structure she speaks in. And she had some iconic moments too, like Empty Chair, do a solo, and other stuff like that. And Nia, another one that you just feel so bad for. Because in the beginning, the only solos that Abby would give her are, like, where she's acting like an animal. That's such a horrible thing to do. Like, Abby is, like, racist. She should have gone to jail way earlier than she did. Just because the way she treats these girls. Yeah. I love Nia. Shouldn't have happened. And, like, her creating a drag queen and saying that she would make a good drag queen, when drag queen are men dressed up like a woman when Nia is a girl? Like, so that literally doesn't make any sense. What? And when she just, Abby was okay, like, a really horrible human being, but, like, she was just okay until, like, she got to LA, then she would act like a idiot and, like, leave and, like, what? And then she'd get mad at the other moms for leaving, but it's like, lead by example. Like, you literally left, like, 3 times in LA. Like, what? Why did you leave? Because one person said something that you don't like? Same thing with Melissa. Like, she would walk out of the room and someone says that something that she doesn't like. Like, stand up for yourself. Abby, like, has the biggest mouth, but she's, like, so weak when it comes to, like, people fighting back to her. Like, they said one little thing. I don't know why I'm playing with that. But they say one little thing to her, and she, like, leaves. What? What? You haven't been through anything that you put these girls through. And they're so young, and, like, if they just weren't on the show, they would have much better mental health. Like, it would get me, like, I would need, like, so much therapy from being on that show. And Kelly, Brooke, and Paige. Kelly was one of my favorites in the earlier seasons, and then she left because she was one of Abby's dancers when she was, like, their age, and then she stayed and was a mom for the dancers later on. And yeah, I just loved Kelly. I loved how she stood up. Only I didn't like Kelly and Christy when they had, like, a little fight, and, like, they both just seemed stupid then. They seemed stupid when, like, Christy walked out and she's like, you didn't call me, you didn't do anything, and then Kelly was literally like, I called you, you didn't answer. Why was that a thing? Why was that a thing? Brooke? I liked Brooke. You know, she's such a mood. Like, she didn't want to be there. She did not. She would just want to be with her friends. Why would you keep her there when she just wanted to be with her friends? She didn't want to dance. She did not want to dance. But I loved her. She was good. And why did Abby, like, try and hook her up with, like, random boys in their studio? Why? Like, whenever there was, like, a partner, a boy coming into the group, it would always be paired up with Brooke. He would always be paired up with Brooke. Why? What was the reason, Abby? Huh? And then Paige really didn't, I don't know. Paige was okay. And then she, like, filed, like, a lawsuit on Abby when she was really young. Like, what? That's kind of weird. Yeah. She really got bullied, too. Moving on to Kathy and Vivi. Kathy, I think she's pretty iconic. Honestly. My brother was watching the show, and he was watching an episode where it, like, was about Kathy and the candy apples. I really didn't like Kathy when she was on the team, the ALDC, in the beginning. And, like, Vivi just wasn't that good of a dancer, but she was, like, funny, I guess. Yeah. So, Kathy, I feel like it was weird once Kathy wasn't at the competitions, because there wasn't really that much conflict on the show without Kathy and the Candy Apples competing against the ALDC. And, like, the other teams that went against her that tried to be, like, a rival, like the team in LA, just didn't seem the same as Kathy and the Candy Apples. Like, yeah, so what I was saying about my brother watching the show is he watched a Candy Apples episode, and then right after that he watched an ALDC episode, and he said that he really enjoyed the one focusing on the Candy Apples. I think that was, like, right after the all-boy team. I really enjoyed the all-boy team. But, yeah, he enjoyed their team better than ALDC because the moms were, like, fighting. But the moms fighting was iconic. One of my favorites. Next is Leslie and Peyton. honestly, like, when Peyton started crying because, like, they kicked her off the team, it was kind of sad. Kind of felt bad for her. Yeah. And then Leslie, she deserved all the hate. She really did. She was just mean. What? 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 Okay. That's literally all I have to say about them. Kind of liked Peyton. Didn't like Leslie. Yeah. I always get Leslie and Christy mixed up. Was Leslie the one that Christy threw a drink at? Because I honestly don't remember. It's been 8 seasons. It's like everything gets mixed up in my mind. Was Leslie the one that she threw a drink at? Reminds me. Christy and Asia. Christy with a K and Asia. Top 3. Top 3. My favorites. Love them. So, Asia, every single time that Asia danced, outstanding. Outstanding. I would stop my homework and look up at Asia dancing. For none of the other girls, just Asia, because Asia was every single one of her dances. Loved them. Her turns. Like, how does she do that? Like, it looks so satisfying and, like, so amazing. Like, Asia's probably my favorite. Asia is probably my favorite. And, like, she was so much better than Mackenzie when they were always in competitions. Because Mackenzie would just... all Abby would trust her with is, like, cutesy little dances when Asia was doing full-out dances. Amazing. Like, how would Mackenzie win? And then, like, all Mackenzie would do was, like, these cutesy little dances. And then, like, when she got old enough to do, like, real dances, Abby didn't care about her. It's really sad. Stupid and sad. Stupid and sad. But I wish Asia stayed more, because Christy was just like, we're done, after the 1 season they were on the show. Because Christy really didn't want to deal with the moms. Mostly other Christy. Yeah. So, my question about Christy with a C, Christy and Chloe Christy, is when she was having a fight with Christy with a K, she was, like, calling her the B word, and then Christy with a K was like, well, then fight me. Like, physically fight me. And then Christy with a C was like, but I'm not that way. I'm not that way. Like, she kept on saying, I'm not that way. And then later, in, like, season 7, she pushes Yolanda. Like, she said, I don't fight people. Then later she pushes her. That's kind of like a weird connection. Because, like, Yolanda kind of acts like the Christy in the first situation in the second. I don't know if that made any sense. But yeah. And it's like, I'm not that way. Christy, tell that to when you threw a drink at someone. I think you're that way. I think you're that way. Yeah. I haven't watched Raising Asia. It's like a whole sideshow about Asia. But since Asia's my favorite on the show, or like my top 3, I should probably watch it. I feel like I'd enjoy it. But I heard that Christy Ray, Christy with a K, isn't as amazing as she was on the show in Raising Asia. I don't know. I loved her. I loved them. They should have stayed. They should have stayed longer. Moving on to Jill and Kendall. No. I really need to burp. I'm very sorry. Excuse me. Okay. So Jill and Kendall, they're probably my least favorite on the show. Like, I really hated their, like, season 6, that Jill and, like, Melissa were, like, together, like, and sitting together and, like, being, like, the mean girls. Like, I really hated that. Like, stop. And so my thing with Jill is in season 2, she was so crazy. She was so crazy. And she was hating on Christy with a C for like making it seem like they're too good for her, and like making it seem like it's like this group, and then there's Jill all by herself. And in season 6, that's exactly what Jill did. Jill made it hell for Brynn, hell for Ashley. Brynn and Ashley, we'll get to them, but they're my top 3. That's the third. Christy and Chloe, Asia and Christy, Ashley and Brynn, top 3. You can fight me. Yeah. And Kendall, she just cried a lot. And she wasn't even the most bullied. Like, look at Nia. She's not crying all the time. She really stood up for herself. Like, I'm really proud of Nia. Like, she grew up to be like this amazing human who stood up for herself when she knows she's in the right and the other people are in the wrong. When Kendall didn't stand up for herself, she just yelled and cried. Huh? 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 Okay. Yeah. Jill and Kendall really got me mad. Really got me mad. Really got me mad. Oh, and then I guess I could talk about Black Patsy. At first, I didn't like Black Patsy, but then, like, when I started hating Jill, you know what? Black Patsy was great. Black Patsy was great. And, like, in the build a wall part, that was just stupid. But, like, good for Black Patsy for standing up against that. Against Kathy doing that dance. Good for Black Patsy. It's kind of weird that she wanted to be called Black Patsy, though. But, yeah. So then, the select team, when... It made for great TV, don't get me wrong, but it was just weird when Abby brought in, like, a whole separate team, and they would beat the original girls, and then, like, she wouldn't keep them. She would just see if they fit with the other girls, one by one, and switch Chloe off. It always had to be Chloe that got, like, the blame. And, like, got, like, the bad... Yeah, that's what Christy would always say, that Chloe gets the short end of the stick. Every time. Well, she does. She was, like, the lab rat, switching with the select team. And, like, I feel like I really felt for Tall Girl, like the girl in the Tall Girl movies. I had to look up her, and I was like, wow, she is the girl from the Tall Girl movie. Why am I literally blanking on her name? And then her mom started to run the Candy Apples. If you haven't watched the show, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So, like, you're probably not watching this video or, like, haven't gotten this far if you haven't watched the show. So, for the people that have watched the show, like, Tall Girl, like, it was so rude how Abby would, like, be like, you're a praying mantis. You have praying mantis arms. I have long arms. I feel like I would, and I'm skinny, I would get so offended by, like, the stuff that she said to her. Why can I not remember her name? Yeah. So, like, she was really the standout, or the show made her the standout of the select team. Moving on, I kind of forget the select team, because that was, like, season 3, right? And then in season 4, Kira and Kalani came. Kalani was one of the best dancers on the team. Like, she just wasn't my favorite. And it was weird how Abby would always call Kalani, like, super pretty, and, like, she would pine over Kalani. Like, she's a minor. Stop being weird. And then Kira. A lot of people, I feel like, don't like Kira because, like, she got mad and, like, she didn't care. But, like, if I was on the show, I feel like I would be the most like Kira because, like, she just gets mad and she just, like, leaves and doesn't want to deal with it. I feel like that would be me. I feel like Kira started off great and then, like, got progressively worse as the show went on. Because, like, when Melissa had to take care of Kalani and then Kira just comes back, that's just, like, a weird storyline. I didn't like it. Not storyline, it's their real life. Yeah. So Jesselyn and JoJo. I feel like Jess is, like, the complete opposite with Kira. Kira got progressively worse. Jess got progressively better. Because Jess and JoJo came off, like, I feel like they had the most personality out of anyone on the show. Like, they were, like, huge people. Not, like, physically. Like, a lot of spirit. And then, yeah. So Jessalyn, she was okay to start out. And then when she, like, literally taught the team when Abby would go away in LA, that was my favorite Jess. And then she got punished for being a good teacher. Like, honestly, Abby should have left and Jessalyn should have been the new teacher of the show. That really should have been what happened, because she was perfect. I literally loved, that was like only 2 minutes of her like teaching them or giving them advice, but it was outstanding. A+ for Jess. And JoJo, Abby really hated her, but she gave her these elaborate, cool dances. Like, I enjoyed watching JoJo, because like the concepts of her dance were different. All of her dances were just different. I'm not picking my nose, I'm scratching under it. Yeah. JoJo, she was fun. But then, in season 8, when she comes back for one episode to give them advice, Abby, because she's like famous, because JoJo gets really famous, again, I'm just scratching, she like acts like she loved her and acts like she loves her. And apparently they like went together somewhere when like she hated her on the show, but now since she got famous, like Abby's like a fame hog and like all of a sudden likes her. What? 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 Okay. Yeah. I think my hair is drying from the shower. That's good. So, I could do this for other shows too. Like the other shows I watch. I could do these little reaction videos because I enjoy it. And I've been wanting to do them. This is totally based off of what Amanda BB does. She literally did a Dance Moms video and it's probably better than this one. I'm gonna rewatch it now since I finished the show to see how her opinions differ from mine. But I remember really liking it. And yeah. The reason I started Dance Moms is because there's this YouTube channel that does like compilations of the best fights of Dance Moms. I really enjoyed those because it's really iconic. And that's the reason why I watched it. So next on my list of characters, not characters, people, how many times am I going to say that, is Brynn and Ashley. I already told you they're my favorites, top 3. Love them. So Ashley was so problematic. I feel like a lot of the Dance Moms fans on Instagram don't like her. But I loved Ashley because she was never in the wrong in any of her fights. And like, why did I forget her name? Jill. Jill was always in the wrong. Ashley never in the wrong. Jill always in the wrong. She got so like separated from the group. And that's what Jill was. Jill was separated when she first got there, and so was Ashley, but Jill didn't stand up because she had to go through that. Like, she just, like, what? That makes me mad. And then Brynn. I really enjoyed Brynn because she was, like, I feel like separated from the girls and, like, because of her mom, and she didn't get along with them. And, like, at the very end of season 7, she decided to go back and dance with the people that she actually enjoyed dancing with. I really like that. I really like that. It really makes me happy. Yeah. A+ for Ashley and Brynn. A+. I think it's season 6, episode 13. I could watch that over and over again, because, like, the fight that happens there with, like, Ashley and the others, I just think is iconic. Like, the beginning of that episode, I could watch it over and over again. Yeah. So moving on to Camille and Cameron. Camille, I don't know, I had like a spasm saying her name. She really just like was there. She really didn't talk much. Up until my favorite Camille moment is when Yolanda and Stacy had the little fight. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite fights ever. It's iconic. The one where she chokes her. I was literally cackling. I was at theater rehearsal, and I cackled in the audience. Like, people can vouch that I cackled. It's so good. when Camille goes, "Ooh, you just got diagnosed." I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. And I watched Cameron's video a while ago on her experience with Dance Moms. So, like, I knew her from that video, but then I, like, kind of forgot that I saw that video before I watched the show. And, you know, she just seemed like she was there. And it was kind of mean how when they made, like, the Irreplaceables team, when they all left the ALDC, that they kind of excluded her. And when they were on the Irreplaceables team, you could totally tell how, like, racist Abby Lee Miller is. Because Abby Lee Miller would always, like, exclude Cameron from being the leads and stuff. And the other dance teachers really loved her. Like, there was 2 dance teachers, I think, that the Irreplaceables had. And they all loved Cameron. They all did. So it really shows the character that Abby was. Her character, not that she's a character. Her, like, personality really shines when you saw that Cameron really has what it takes when she was given the chance. Because I thought that her dancing was really good. Even though I didn't watch most of it because I was looking at my work while watching the show. So then, the mini team. Melissa would make me so mad when she would, like, degrade, and Jill, when they would both degrade the mini team. Like, what? These kids look up to you, and you're degrading them. And for what? And you did this for what? And some of the mini team was iconic. Like, Peyton's mom, icon. I think her name was Carrie. Icon. I to the con. Loved her. Like, and when she walked out, when her daughter had to do a trash solo, Abby gave her a solo where she was dressed up like trash. With, like, literal trash from the garbage can on her body. What? Oh, and moving back all the way to season 2, or, like, season 1, when the one boy on the Candy Apples had to wear, like, a costume that he was uncomfortable in, I really felt that, and he changed it. Good thing they changed it, because, like, I would have cried. I did cry, literally, when I had to wear a costume I was uncomfortable with. So I really felt his pain. And then, yeah, talking back to the mini team. At the end of season something, when she decided that she's only inviting 2 of the minis back, I would have 100% brought back Ariana. I don't know what happened off from the show from that made her not pick Ariana, but Ariana was the best mini. She was so good, her turns, I literally could watch them for days. She was a standout, and her mom really didn't, she was, like, nice and didn't cause drama. Like, why would you not want her around? It does not make sense that Ariana didn't stay, and that they chose Eliana and Yolanda over Ariana. What? Who? Alexis is my least favorite on the mini team. They just seemed stupid. Yeah. Stacy and Liliana. So now we're getting into the season 8 people. So Stacy and Liliana really made season 8. Stacy was the only mom on season 8 that I really enjoyed. Only one there. I'm going to go down the list of the season 8s, and I'm going to be like, you hated your mom. You hated your mom. You hated your mom. Either they didn't stand out, or I really hated them. There's only 2 things in season 8. Didn't stand out, or I hated them. Stacy and Liliana were the only valid ones. They weren't my favorite in season 7, like when they were on the mini team, or season 6. But like season 8, Stacy really shined. Loved her. Stacy was the main character of season 8. And Ashley was really the main character of season after Christy left. Like, that's an unpopular opinion. The main characters of the show were Christy, Ashley, and Stacy for these seasons. Yeah. That's really what it feels like. It focuses on them. Other than Abby. Abby's the main character. Yeah. So, Stacy and Liliana. Liliana was a great dancer. She got, like, perfect scores that not many people have gotten. So, like, good for her. Love that. Like, I finished season 8 yesterday, so the thoughts are, like, really new in my head, unlike the other ones I talked about. Loved Stacy and Liliana. Stacy was iconic. She would not deal with Yolanda. Like, and I felt that. Like, people that I don't deal with me, I feel like I really enjoy everyone in life until you personally do something to me. And then I don't like you one bit. And I feel like that's exactly how Stacy is. Yeah. Yolanda. Yolanda really, like, made herself the evil character, like, the protagonist. I'm stupid, the antagonist. Yolanda made herself the antagonist. She did it to her kid. She was just, like, kind of, like, stupid. Like, she didn't stand up. Like, she was saying all the wrong things. And Eliana, she was pretty good. Like, Eliana and Liliana, like, how do they bend their back so far? Like, that's impressive. Like, I cannot, like, touch my butt with my head. That's what they can do. They can, like, literally insanity. The flexibility that those two have. Insanity. Sorry. So, Trisha and Brady, when looking up the characters, or, like, when writing down this list I have of the characters to go through, half of the the season 8 moms, I forgot their names. I forgot half of their names. The only ones I can remember were Stacy and Liliana. Those are the only 2 names that stood out, the only 2 moms that stood out. The other ones I couldn't even deal with learning their names in one season. So Trisha, apparently, is the name of Brady's mom. I really felt bad for Brady when he got kicked off of the team, because him, like Kalani, they really just wanted to dance. They really, truly weren't there for any of the drama, any of Abby's stupidness. They just wanted to dance. So I really felt that. And it was sad that they had to go so early, but then they got brought back. But, like, I was so surprised. I was like, oh! That was my reaction when they got eliminated. Or when she said she was cutting one person, then she cut them. Why would they do that? Brady was such a good dancer. But Trisha, she really just gave me Melissa vibes. And Brady really didn't talk much on the show like Maddie. So, like, that parallel, that really, like, stood out to me. Because, like, Trisha, the only thing that she did was, like, throw a cake. That's the only thing I remember. So next is Joanna and Giannina. So, it was so weird. Right when I got into season 8, the first episode of season 8, they were wearing cat ears. Okay, they were wearing cat ears, and I was like, what am I getting into? Like, what are these humans wearing literal cat ears to their first day on the team? I guess, like, 2019 or 18 was, like, different. Like, the fashion was different, that they wore cat ears. And then later, for Hannah's dance, they all wore, like, unicorn ears. It really was just, like, made me cackle. It made me cackle. So, Giannina, I liked her. She was, like, mean. They made her come across as mean on the show. Like, they made Brooke come across, like, depressed on the show. They made Giannina come off as a brat. They made Kendall come off as a brat. But I'm sure their real human personalities are not like that. Just saying. But, yeah. I enjoyed Giannina. I really think her over Presley for solos at Nationals. It was really weird that Presley had a solo at Nationals because I hated her mom. Her mom was just, like, stupid. Like, she fought for all the wrong things. And now in real life, if you try and, like, mess with me, I have all these Dance Moms quotes in my head that I can pull out for, like, standing up for myself. That's what this show taught me, how to stand up for myself. Thank you, Dance Moms. Yeah. So, Joanna, she was, Giannina, she was pretty good. Pretty good. One of my favorites on season 8. But my only real person I liked on season 8 was Stacy and Yolanda. it was kind of interesting how during their, like, confessions, they were with their mom. I wouldn't want to confess, like, my real true thoughts with my mom sitting right there. I don't know. Because I feel like I speak out, like, a lot more in my head than I do in real life. Like, I'm like, huh? What? Huh? Huh? Like, I'm sassier in my head than I come across in real life. And, yeah. And that's just your sassy thoughts, the, like, confessions. So it was interesting that they chose to have it paired up with your mom's, when in seasons, the earlier ones, they would just, like, be individual confessions. Yeah, so Ashley and Presley, this is another mom that I had to look up her name. Ashley is apparently her name. Ashley was just, like, mean the whole time. Like, she was just mean. Like, when she came after Sarah's mom, she was just mean. Then Presley really didn't stand out. She just cried. Yeah. Anne and Hannah, they're the really first people in season 8 that made me mad. They made me mad when they tried to be, like, quirky, and they're like, ha ha ha, people at the gas station actually thought my daughter's name was Banana. Like, what? Why are you telling this story? Why are you telling this story? Rewatch the beginning of season 8, or watch it for the first time, and listen to Anne and Hannah's story. It was so weird. And, like, Hannah, she was even shyer than Chloe. She, like, never talked. She was like... Yeah. I kind of felt bad for them, because Anne would always cry. It's kind of funny, though. So, at the beginning of season 8, I could not tell Savannah and Sarah and Aaron and Michelle apart. Like, they just got mixed up. They just were, like, blurs. And then Savannah and Aaron left early. Like, they left out of nowhere. Probably because Brady wasn't on the team, and that seems like Savannah's only friend there. It was kind of sad that they left. Because I heard that Savannah's, like, really good, but she left too early. But then after Aaron and Savannah left, Sarah and Michelle, the second half of season 8, they would just get roasted the whole time. Well, I mean, Michelle kind of deserved it, but Sarah did not. And you could tell that Abby loved Sarah, but hated her mother. It's kind of sad. Because all Sarah wanted to do was be a part of this team for forever. And then her mom would get roasted every day she came in. But her mom was just, like, saying all the wrong things. All of the wrong things. Yeah. And the last two people are Cameron and Paris. They're two girls that were only there for, like, a little bit, so I don't really know what they're like. And yeah. Some people say that the competitions there were rigged. I probably think that's true. And I think that's it. I think that's basically all my thoughts on Dance Moms. 40 minutes. This video is 40 minutes long. Hope you enjoyed, and I finally got a time of day where my parents were out in the house so I could, like, talk a lot to make this video. I've been wanting to make this video for forever. So tell me if you like these little reacting to TV shows things, because I will 100% make this a series. 100% make this a series and do more. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Bye! Bye.